Great. Looking forward to this matchup. And we've been talking a lot about, obviously, the quarterback position out there. And we've played cuts from some national voices, Daniel Jeremiah and Kurt Warner and others, saying, you know what? This team is just better with Jacoby Brissett. They just are. And I'm curious, from your perspective, is that feel like a true statement to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. You look at just the last 3 starts, he's put this offense in a completely different place than it was with Kyler Murray that first 5 weeks. Obviously, they're going very much to the passing game more than they have with the run game, which is a little bit of a change up. I think the second half of the first Seahawks game is a good example of kind of what they're doing now. But you're seeing a lot more out of Jacoby Brissett. I mean, their points are up per game, total yards are up per game, the passing yards are up. They just look like they're more in sync. He's under center more. He's doing more play action. He's staying in the pocket. He's letting guys get open. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming off a career game where he had 7 catches, and that just alone is pretty shocking that 7 catches is a career game for him. I mean, Trey McBride a couple weeks ago had 2 touchdowns for the first time in a single game as an NFL player. You're just seeing a lot more happening with Brissett under center right now.
So, Tyler, they put Kyler Murray on IR, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and we heard some rumors that there actually was some video of him that looks like he's running around and he's fine. Or tell us, kind of, is there a little drama going on there, or what's the deal? Is he truly hurt?
Yeah, I think there is part of it that he is hurt. He's not 100%. They want to get him fully there, but also, yeah, it's been kind of a roller coaster out here. As you know, it's been nothing's changed. He's going to continue to be the starter. He's going to get out in practice. He's going to work with practice squad players or work with guys that are lower on the 53-man roster. And then you started seeing him kind of ramp up a little bit at practice. And that was, 2 weeks ago, last week. And now instead it's totally flipped to him him going to IR. And I mean, from the Monday Night Football game at postgame, Jonathan Gannon reiterated, like, he's still the guy. He's going to be there when he's healthy. And now you see him going IR. But honestly, I think it brings a lot of clarity. I think it brings a lot of, Jacoby's the guy. There's no more distractions, at least 4 more games. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's going to come back and play this year. I don't think he's going to come back and play after. I think they're going to move on this offseason, to be honest with you, just from the optics of right now and just everything else that's going on. And it just comes down to the performance has said Jacoby Brissett's been the better option. He's better in that system. And, Kyler Murray can do some great stuff, but at the end of the day, he's just not living up to what his draft pick was, and and definitely not what his contract is. So it's been very interesting to see this all unfold, but I do think putting him on IR kind of squashes a lot of that distraction the team could have and lets them focus more on the X's and O's.
Tyler, what's the perception of him, A, with the fan base, but B, with his teammates? We've heard some ex-teammates come out and say, hey, this guy needs to grow up and things like that. But, we watch from a distance, we're just kind of looking at body language and go, man, he just doesn't look like that leader that's going to carry you through the rough times. But your impressions of just how his teammates view him and the fan base?
Yeah, the fan base totally split on him. I think he's a very polarizing person out here. I think he's the most polarizing player in Arizona right now. One side, you're either with the guy. The other side, you want him out of town tomorrow. But then, I mean, it's just, what was the other part of the question?
His teammates, how they view him.
Because,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they still back him. I mean, Jacoby Brissett still talks highly of him. Marvin Harrison Jr., you can tell that the guys really appreciate his competitiveness, his will to win, his want to win. But you can also tell on the flip side, Jacoby Brissett is definitely calming down guys in the huddle. He's definitely bringing another sense of comfortability there. Marvin Harrison Jr. talks so much about how much of a leader he is. So same with Zay Jones, same with Michael Wilson. And that's not saying that they haven't said the same thing about Kyler. It just seems right now there's an overwhelming sense of Jacoby really has this team, has this unit in the direction they want to go. And yes, he's the backup, but showing off like he can really take this team to the next step.
Outside of that, Tyler, and that's a lot of drama and everything that's going on there, it seems like. But what about, some of the good players? I mean, this Walter Nolen kid, I'm kind of fascinated by him because I think it was his first start, and he comes out and talk about burst on the scene, man. He gets a sack. He's got a couple tackles for loss. He's just playing. I think he knocked a pass down. But, I mean, is that kid for real? He was, the number 16 pick, I think, this year in the draft?
Yeah, yeah. He actually really surprised me because almost like last year with Darius Robinson, their other first-round pick, who really missed most of the season with the calf injury, same type of deal. It felt like Groundhog's Day over here. But now getting him back in the saddle, I mean, he has really, impressed. He came off the PUP list, got back on the practice field, got back ahead of schedule, looked really explosive, and then he really showed that on prime time. I mean, he really stepped in, and Calais Campbell talked about it in the locker room this week about how much he opened up opportunities for the veteran to get it done late, and you can see that. I think they had 3 or 4 sacks in the fourth quarter, and that's been one of the biggest issues for the Cardinals this year, is not being able to close out games defensively and not get pressure on the quarterback late, and you really saw that this past game.
The Seahawks have had their own issues running the ball consistently, and I look at the rushing numbers for the Cardinals, and Kyler Murray is your leading rusher with 173 yards. What's been the biggest issue with it? Is it the O-line? Is it the scheme? Same questions I'm asking about the Seahawks. Is it the O-line? Is it the backs? Is it the scheme? What do you see being the problem with the running game there?
Yeah, I think one thing is health. Obviously, James Conner done for the year. You've got Trey Benson, who's on the IR still. He could be coming back here shortly, though. Then you look, I think you do have to look at the O-line. They really have not been what I think all of us out here expected them to be. They've looked really solid the past 2 years. They've got they've got their whole starting line back, but just hasn't really cut it. And honestly, I do think part of it is they lost Clayton Adams to Dallas, and you're seeing what Dallas is doing with him as the OC, really getting after it with Javonte Williams. Obviously, last game wasn't exactly that, but you see what he's doing over the totality of the season, and you can see that oomph that's missing from Arizona. So I do think injuries have played a massive part, but I also think personnel's changed a little bit there in the coaching side of things, and they've got to try to figure out how to marry kind of the new and the old. But yeah, it's not the same run-first offense that we've seen the past 2 years. The bye week, they really changed things up. And like I said, go back to that kind of second half against Seattle. That's what I'm expecting a lot of moving forward the rest of the year.
Hey, Tyler, tell us about the fan base down there. Every time I go down there, I feel like you've got really ardent fans. But it does seem like they kind of get taken over a little bit on game day. You see lots of Seahawks jerseys when we're down there. But what's the mood down there? How popular are the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah. There's definitely when a team travels well, like Seattle, like San Francisco, countless others. Green Bay was a that was one of the moments where I was like, wow, there's more green than red in the stands. But it's just one of those things. Arizona, a lot of people come from a lot of different areas, and you're going to get that blend of just different teams all at once. But, I think if they start winning a couple games, can stack a couple games, you'll start seeing that discrepancy really fall back and have some more red in the stands. But I think this 5-game losing streak that they were on really did a number on the fan base, especially when you continue to say that Kyler's the guy, when you continue to say, that they're close and they're going to get there, and it's just not happening, and they're losing these close games. And I think a lot of people were kind of waning on them, but now you win on prime time, you give everybody kind of a jolt, you make the decision to move on, or not move on, but just move to Jacoby for the next at least 4 games. I think that's got a lot of people starting to get back on the wagon. Now they just have to put some more wins on board to really get people back in the stands.
Tyler Drake, Arizona Sports Cardinals beat reporter with us here with Wyman and Bob. Tyler, really appreciate the insight, my friend. Thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, no problem, guys.